Welcome to this explainer. Today we're diving right into a seriously profound exploration of existence, drawing straight from the Bahá'í writings. We'll be bridging the literal vastness of the cosmos with those quiet, hidden realities inside every single one of us to unpack the spiritual mechanics of reality.
It is the ultimate mystery, right? I mean, if you've ever just stared up at a night sky absolutely packed with stars, you've probably asked yourself this exact thing. How did creation actually begin? Before we get into the specific answers provided by our source texts today, I want to invite you to just hold that question in your mind for a second. Really ponder the origins of the universe.
Here is our roadmap for today. We'll start with the mystery of beginnings, explore nature as divine will, journey inward to the infinite worlds within, and finally, look for signs of the Creator. Let's get into it.
Section 1. The Mystery of Beginnings, an Eternal Universe. Now, what's so fascinating here is how this concept completely flips our standard perception of time on its head. We are so used to stories having a very clear, distinct start and finish. But according to the source writings, the universe isn't boxed in by a single solitary starting point. Instead, it is described as a continuous, eternal expression of the Creator. Think about it. The very title Creator actually requires a creation, right? Just like the title Lord requires a servant. So creation itself has to be as eternal as the Creator. It literally has no beginning, and its end knows no end. It's a massive concept.
Let's take a second to actually absorb the words from the text. Baha'u'lláh writes, "Know assuredly that God's creation hath existed from eternity and will continue to exist forever." It is such a majestic thought. Now sure, the forms we see around us today might change. The text does note that things come into being through the interaction of active forces and recipients. But the actual essence of creation, that is completely boundless and unending.
Moving on to Section 2, Nature as Divine Will, the Mechanics of Existence.
So, when the writings speak of the Word of God, we have to remember they aren't talking about, a physical sound or a spoken syllable. Not at all. This Word is the unseen, absolutely irresistible cause of the entire creation. It totally transcends all our known physical elements and is completely free from any physical substance. In fact, the text describes it as an all-pervasive grace that is never, ever withheld from the world. It's the active force generating reality and sustaining literally everything we call nature. So nature, at its very core, is simply the expression of this divine will right here in the physical world.
Next up, Section 3. The infinite worlds within. The inner reality.
The source material uses this absolutely brilliant metaphor to explain spiritual realities, and it focuses on the state of being asleep. Think about it. Our everyday physical world is strictly bound by time and space, right? But your dream world? In a dream, you might just suddenly start flying across this strange, sprawling landscape that never actually ends. The text points out that in this dream state, you traverse a reality with absolutely no beginning and no end. And yet, and this is the wild part, this entire boundless world is wrapped up entirely within you. It's just a beautiful way of showing that we carry these infinite, unbound spiritual realms right inside our own minds.
Which brings us to Section 4, Signs of the Creator, the Waking World.
The writings invite us to look at the world around us and truly ponder it. Actually, the text literally says the world unveileth the book of its own self before thine eyes. What this means is that nature isn't just, a bunch of random matter bumping together. It is the direct embodiment of God's will. Because of this, every single thing in the universe acts like an open book, perfectly reflecting the splendor of its maker. We are constantly surrounded by this incredibly deep, profound meaning if we just choose to slow down and read it.
This actually brings us to one of the most hopeful, inclusive concepts in the entire text. It says, "Know thou that every created thing is a sign of the revelation of God." The writings really emphasize this point. Nothing whatsoever in the whole universe can be discovered that doesn't reflect this splendor. Every single thing, according to its own capacity, is a token of the Almighty. I mean, think about the implications of that. It means that no matter where we look, whether it's at a tree, a distant star, or just a fellow human being, the universe is entirely filled with signs of divine glory.
And that brings us to the end of this explainer, but I do have a final question I want to leave you with. If every created thing is truly a sign, if it's literally a page in the open book of the universe, what will you notice today? I'd really invite you to step out into your everyday world with fresh, inspired eyes and just see what you can discover. Thanks so much for joining me on this journey of reflection.